Now Harry Thomas is gonna rank the movies that he hates more than any other. But don't worry, Mr. Thomas, I'm not gonna stop until I've literally given every animated classic a live action makeover. Because the more money, the merrier. Ha ha ha. All right, Mickey, you've had your fun. Now it's my turn. Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my ranking of the Disney live action remakes. And there are more than you would think, practically 20 to rank. And long time subscribers of mine, and even short time subscribers, will know that my utter disdain for the majority of the live action remakes. I think they are Disney's worst movies. They are the lowest form and laziest form of filmmaking, just taking an old property and using people's nostalgia to make a quick buck instead of putting actual effort and care into original ideas. I mean, which is what I wish Disney would pull the plug on these remakes, but for some reason people keep seeing them, and that gives Disney the wrong impression that we want these remakes when we don't. But there are, but believe it or not, not all of them are bad. Uh, Without further ado, if you want to know my ranking from my favorite to least favorite, then just keep watching. At number 17, the worst of the fucking worst, not just of the live action remakes, but of all movies, The Lion King 2019 or The Lesser King. Can you feel the dress tonight? I mean, I have nothing but pure disregard for this shittiest of shitty remakes and movies. I'm sorry, but we failed as a species by letting this cynical copy of The Lion King, the peak of Disney animation, gross $1.6 billion. I am gladly with my good friend Lauren Pajat's perspective and Doug Walker that this is the worst of the Disney remakes and the one where people finally saw how shit they are. I'm sorry, but the CGI is ridiculously overrated. You want to watch groundbreaking CGI? Watch How to Train Your Dragon or Avatar instead, or watch the original Lion King for its most breathtaking hand drawn animation ever put to film. How fucking dare they disrespect Be Prepared that way by shortening it and extending The Lion Sleeps Tonight. So what the actual fuck? And totally butcher Scar, not just by not asking Jeremy Irons to come back, but his design is all wrong. Jon Favreau didn't give two shits about making the lions emote anything, so the CGI animals look lifeless as fuck. And how fucking dare they remove the coconut song? How dare they make the wildebeest stampede look tiny? And how dare they make Simba's hair travel to Rafiki in a ball of giraffe shit? Screw this remake for changing Timon and Pumbaa doing the dress and dragon do the hula to that Be Our Guest Beauty and the Beast reference. I could write a million-page novel with everything wrong with The Lesser King. At number 16, Dumbo, Tim Burton's Dumbo, and Aaron Kruger's Dumbo. I'm sorry, but Tim Burton and Aaron freaking Kruger, the writer of Transformers, anal raped one of the greatest and sweetest and most charming Disney classics. Just because I put it above The Lesser King is not a compliment in the slightest. They are still literally top two worst movies of all time for me. Yeah, 50 Shades trilogy level bad. Thank heavens this was the one remake of the 2019 live action remakes to bomb hard. And I know I probably despise this remake more than most people do, as most people say, it's just mediocre, it's not one of the absolute worst. But I personally don't think it gets enough hate. I think Tim Burton is known for fucking up remakes, but I think this is his worst remake. I think it's worse than his Planet of the Apes remake and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and his Alice in Wonderland remake. There, I says it. Fuck me, it's worse than all of them combined. They, I'm sorry, CGI Dumbo isn't adorable. He is a monstrosity, you know, like, and that how could they cut out Timothy the Mouse and the Crows, minimize Mrs. Jumbo's role, and cut out, you know, all the other elephants from the original and replace them with wooden plank human characters, Colin Favreau and his kids. And Danny DeVito, Eva Green, and Michael freaking Keaton all give their shissiest performances I have ever seen. I mean, Aaron Kruger, just like with the Transformers movies, he oversaturated it with human characters. This is supposed to be a story told from the perspective of animals. You know, the humans are supposed to be in the background. And where's When I See an Elephant Fly? And Baby of Mine sounds creepy as fuck. And it is ridiculously over long at 2 hours. Like, the original Dumbo's an hour shorter, so that's why you should watch that one, because you'll save plenty of time and you'll get an infinitely better movie out of it. Number 15, I know you guys are going to come at me for this, but The Little Mermaid 2023. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I want these shitty live action remakes to stop right now. Lion King, Dumbo, and The Little Mermaid are simply untouchable Disney classics that can never ever be remade. So yeah, the Little Mermaid remake's existence is cynical to me. Even if everybody is singing this movie's praises right now, I guarantee you it's going to be forgotten by the end of this year, and everybody's just going to go back to the good Little Mermaid from 1989. At number 14, Pinocchio 2022, or Pinocchio, When You Wish Upon a Star. Robert Zemeckis will rape a Disney classic up the arse. I was overjoyed to see how critics were panning the shits out of this, heaping pile of donkey shits, because this is a Pinocchio movie fail, 101. I mean, uh, yeah, even Tom Hanks disappointed me, and that's just sad. As the modern jokes, from the Chris Pine joke from Honest John to the Disney Clocks in Geppetto's Workshop are uh, pure cringe, and yeah, and thank the Lord we had for a good old Guillermo del Toro and his great Pinocchio movie that we got months after this. At number 13, Mulan 2020. I think Mulan 2 deserves an apology right now, guys. Who would watch that over this any day? Sorry if I'm going too far with the ranting, but this is another of those garbage remakes that I hate with such a passion. Like, no Mushu, no gradual progression of Mulan's badassery. She's 10 times more of a Mary Sue and just perfect at everything than Rey from the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and her sister does jack shit. The villain is way more forgettable than the underrated Shan Yu from the original. The battle scenes bored the living shit out of me, and that Hawk lady, what was her motivation again? And they made the Emperor look like a dick. At number 12, Peter Pan and Wendy. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, but Pan from 2015 is now looking harmless in comparison. Worst Peter Pan movie by a long shot. I mean, sure, Mulan 2020 kickstarted the trend of some of the remakes going straight to Disney Plus. That is where they freaking belong, as does this one. Strip Neverland of all its magic, wonder, and colour. They forcefully make Wendy a kick-ass warrior, and they do the same with Tiger Lily. And Peter's actor was one of the most Razzie-worthy performances I've ever seen from a child actor. Yeah, all these remakes have bad child actors, and Jude Law, man, why aren't you doing Fantastic Beasts 4 and 5 instead of this? It's at number 11, Lady and the Tramp 2019, or Lazy and the Turds. Actually, scratch what I said about Mulan 2020 starting the Disney Plus trend, because that's what this remake did. This was the very first of the remakes to just be slapped on a Disney Plus, and it was the one remake in 2019 to not be cinematically released, but that was for the best. But this was easily the worst of the movies to launch the premiere of Disney Plus. So, like, Mandalorian season 1 was a far better way to launch that premiere, because yeah, like the CGI dogs here have no character to them, and this and 2019 was the year of F. Murray Abraham's best and worst roles. His best role being Grimmel from How to Train Your Dragon 3, and as the chef here, he was clearly doing it for his paycheck, and why change the zoo scene to removing Lady's muzzle on a fucking statue? What a boring change, and unnecessarily remove the We Are Siamese song, and Trusty and Jock are wasted as hell. And yeah, this is the definition of one of the laziest retellings of a classic I have ever seen. At number 10, Aladdin 2019. Why? I am speechless how positive the reception for this remake was. King and Thieves and Return of Jafar, the Aladdin sequels, do the story of Aladdin more justice than this. Like they they made they gave the genie a love story with Jasmine's handmaiden. Are you kidding me? Aladdin's actor gave me the creeps, and Naomi Scott as Jasmine means she may be gorgeous, but she's not half as gorgeous as the animated Jasmine. Jafar and Iago were done extremely dirty here. They changed the epic giant cobra to a stupid giant parrot. What were they high on? And yeah, I cannot see what's so good about this remake. At number 9, remake as old as time, cash grab as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast, more like Beauty and the Bitch. Belle's Magical World and The Enchanted Christmas had way more flavour and personality to them than this cheap and boring retelling of the first ever animated feature to be nominated for Best Picture. But this is not Best Picture material, unlike the original. They picked an actress that could not sing as for Belle. As much as I love Emma Watson, she is a way better Hermione than she is Belle, and yeah, Dan Stevens far too human-like as the Beast. The enchanted objects make me want to puke. The romance between Belle and the Beast was the romance between Belle and the Beast feels infinitely more forced here, all but having the Enchantress be the one to end the curse instead of Belle. That makes Belle's role in the story fucking pointless. And the Evermore song, well, could not remember it for the life of me. At number 8, the first of the remakes from David Lowery, Pete's Dragon. Original Pete's Dragon, I uh, I'm so affectionate towards underrated Disney classic, but this one I could not give a shit about. It's overly dark. None of the magic of the original is here. Peace and Elliot bombed just like that. No natural progression of their friendship. Pete and Elliot spend too long apart, far too much time with Bryce Dallas Howard's family, and the villain of, I mean, at least the villains in the original were highly entertaining. This villain was a bore. If you want to watch a movie about a boy bonding with a dragon done to perfection, just watch How to Train Your Dragon. At number seven, 102 Dalmatians. Yeah, I still stand by my opinion that this is the weakest 101 Dalmatians movie. I mean, like the one bad one. Why did we need a sequel to the 1996 101 Dalmatians? It was fine on its own, but I'm sorry, a parrot and a Cruella are going batshit crazy again. At least, the 1996 film attempted to be different, but this was just more of the same. At number six, Alice Through the Looking Glass, the unwanted sequel. I mean, it does suck because Through the Looking Glass was such a bomb that we never got a What Alice Found There movie. I wouldn't have minded seeing what they would do with that, and that could have been an improvement over this one because this one was boring. Like, it's just Alice traveling through time to bring back the Hatter's family. The Hatter is depressed without his family. Where is the stakes to that? Like, at least in the original, there were stakes with the Jabberwocky and the Red Queen's reign of terror, but and I still think the Mad Hatter gets too much focus in these movies when it's supposed to be Alice's story. Though Mia Wasikowska as Alice was a little more charismatic here, and the backstory between the Red and White Queen about the White Queen, uh, lied about her sister eating the tart to their mother in their childhood. Well, that caused a rift between them. That was kind of nice, but other than that, this was a dreary and by the numbers follow up, and poor Alan Rickman. This was the last movie he ever got to star in. Number six, The Jungle Book 2016. Yeah, this is, to me, in all honesty, the most overrated of the Disney remakes. If you rate this as the greatest of the remakes, because this does seem to be the fan favorite one, all the power to you. But there's no way I would watch this over the 1967 Disney animated Jungle Book. I think even Andy Serkis did it better with his version, Mowgli Legend of the Jungle, but this version rips off The Lion King way too much. It was literally Jon Favreau rehearsing to direct The Lion King. And I can't believe I was way too generous to this remake at the time. Now I can see its flaws. Like, it's just Jon Favreau showing off his pretty visuals, and Idris Elba as Shia Khan was a mistake. Not intimidating at all. And yeah, Bill Murray was a rather bored baloob. Scarlett Johansson as Car was just bizarre, and Car does a jack shit in the movie, making Christopher Walken's King Louis perform "I Wanna Be Like You" just made what was supposed to be an intimidating scene way too wacky. And I mean, even though the climax and final battle was pretty damn epic, other than that, Mowgli and Baloo collecting honey together and just hanging out overstayed its welcome. And the subplot with Shere Khan taking over the wolf pack needed one more scene at least. Number five, Alice in Wonderland 2010. I know you think I'm rating this one too high. I know this movie has its fair share of haters, but I honestly don't think this is a bad film. It is far superior to what Tim Burton did to Dumbo. his gothic style fits Alice in Wonderland better than it does Dumbo, and at least this attempted to be different, being a sequel to the original story and not just a retelling all over again. And the inclusions of the Jabberwocky, what did up the stakes in the story, and I uh, I even though this movie does have its pacing issues, some parts of it are just straight up Maz. I mean, and no way is it in the same league as the 1951 Disney animated classic, but it's uh, it's still a Disney live action film that I don't mind sitting through. At number four, Cinderella, Kenneth Branagh's version, and honestly, this remake has gone up in my opinion. I probably was a little harsh only giving it 2 stars. Still think this is the weakest of the four Cinderella movies from Disney. I take all the animated ones over this one, and I will review the Cinderella animated movies extra soon, as requested by Charlie. Lily James, I think she is a wonderful Cinderella, and she can do no wrong. And I do like that they expanded on the prince here, and Kate Blanchett was a stellar choice for the stepmother, as was Helena Bonham Carter for the fairy godmother. But again, the mice were underwhelming here, uh, and the movie is overlong. Like Cinderella's backstory about her parents did go on for longer than it should have. The animated movie told it at a far better pace, and also the soundtrack is a lot weaker than the animated one. But still, you can see that Kenneth Branagh at least put care into this remake, unlike other directors with their remakes. At number four, 101 Dalmatians 1996, the first ever attempt at a Disney live action remake, and it's often forgotten now, being buried under all the other more modern ones. But this is a cute movie, does respect its animated source material, like with nice changes like having Cruella be Anita's boss, and the and in the climax, having Cruella gets 7 bells knocked out of her by a group of farm animals protecting the puppies. And even though I disagree with the decision to not make the dogs talk, this is still a perfectly innocent movie that did a passable job of of retelling the story in live action. And Glenn Close as Cruella, she knocks it out of the park. Number three, Cruella. I'm gonna say it. I love this movie. Second best 101 Dalmatians movie, even if it couldn't dethrone the 1961 version. This was still a awesome 60th anniversary celebration of that movie. Emma Stone, freaking excellent as Cruella. Sorry, Glenn Closer, but you have been dethroned. And I mean, Emma Thompson as the Baroness. What a glorious performance. Yeah, Cruella's mother turned out to be such a layered character, and and you you can really see why Cruella turned out the way she did because of her fucked up childhood. This is how you do a villain origin story and not have too many nostalgic callbacks to the original, even if the CGI Dalmatians do look horrible. At number two, Maleficent, the villain origin story of my mum's all-time favorite Disney movie, Sleeping Beauty. Granted, neither Maleficent movies are even hold a candle to the original, but Angelina freaking Jolie as Maleficent is the reason to see this movie. She is pure magnificence as Maleficent, the mistress of evil herself, and I don't see the harm in making Maleficent more sympathetic and more misunderstood, and making King Stefan the bad guy. it's a different take that works. Ella Fanning as Aurora, well, she is stunning to look at, no denying. And the mother and daughter bond between her and Maleficent is the beating heart of this film. The Moors is the most stunning location in any Disney live action remake. I love that this movie took its time to expand the lore of the Sleeping Beauty story, and though the fairies were turned into idiots in this movie, and this remake was for 5 years my favourite of the remakes until one topped it. And my number one favourite of the Disney live action remakes is a choice that none of you saw coming: Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Yes, I totally guess it. I'm probably the only one that would call this the best Disney live action remake, and it's a shame it's one of the lesser well known ones, but I don't care. This sequel is even deeper than the first Maleficent, having Maleficent meet her own kind and making her ask the question. I mean, should she still care for Aurora, as Aurora has sided with the humans and wants to marry the prince of a kingdom ruled by a queen who despises Maleficent's kind. I mean, and my god, that's final battle is the most enthralling and epic climax to any Disney live action remake. And we get to see Maleficent in her dragon form. Oh, and Michelle Pfeiffer electrifying as the Queen. I mean, that's what happens when you get Catwoman from Batman and Janet from Ant-Man in your movie. Heck yes. So honestly, this this sequel deserves so much more appreciation. It is literally the only good live action remake we got in 2019. I'm proud to call Maleficent Mistress of Evil the best of the Disney live action remakes. Yeah, finally, that was my ranking of the Disney live action remakes. And I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this ranking. And what's your ranking? Is your list similar or entirely different to mine? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you all next time when I review. Well, no, sorry, when I share my Q&A to celebrate my 3,000 subscribers and answer your awesome questions, which you guys have so kindly sent me. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.